everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and it's Manchester United against Tottenham. Who knows where we'll be in a couple of hours. Optimism, excitement, trepidation, fear, risk and reward. It's all there, but I tell you what, very, very happy with the Manchester United lineup. I've got to say I am happy with this. I don't think it's our strongest lineup yet because I think injuries and form maybe prevent us a little bit from having our best team at the moment. But it's a very, very good Manchester United side and it's certainly one that I'm very, very happy with. So let me know straight away in the chat. What are your thoughts on that? Jason Langton, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for getting your badge in. We're ready to go. We need to replace Shaw with Leif Davis. We need to get that off my screen. That's not from my stream. Get rid of this. Get rid of this rubbish. But yeah, look, very, very excited about it. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Manchester United are going to play today because bottom line is I don't think there's any of us that are going to take anything other than a win today. Against the Spurs side that comes here with the same intentions as well. So, yeah, I think it's not going to be easy, but I'm very happy with that team. I mean, look, we did a morning show, and that's the team I would have picked if I could. The only change I would have made was Xerxes for Rasmus, and I'm not massively bothered about Xerxes playing, and you know, I think if Rasmus had been playing, I'd be absolutely that I couldn't pick a better team than that. So I think for me, I've got one word. I'm getting the word Agate. That's the word I'm getting. I think this game is massively pivotal to Ten Hag, to this fan base, but I also think it's massively pivotal to Agate. To Agate, yeah. I think that this is the game where, you know, if he has a good game today, then it can really be a statement of him arriving at the football club. If he doesn't have a good game today, you will get Turbo Pratt saying he was a waste of money, this, that, and the other. I don't understand this. I can't get on board with this. I was talking about this yesterday. Gravenberch for Liverpool has been fantastic this season, and he was fantastic yesterday. Wasn't that good last season. Didn't see Liverpool fans calling him a flop. Get him out of our football club, coming up with names for him. No, that's exclusive to our fan base. Unfortunately, we've got those morons in our fan base that start on players before they've even got going. So, you know, Fabinho before him didn't have a great first few months at Liverpool, went on to be a good player. Why do we need to learn things from Liverpool? You know, why does our fan base, certain elements of our fan base, drag us down with their negativity around new signings? But hopefully Agate can shut them up today because I think if he can have a good game, it's massive. I was listening to the countdown to kickoff. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. Get your comments in. I saw, I think Beth was saying Ahmad and Eriksen are very unlucky not to be starting. I think she's right. But if I'm being harsh, my explanation for that is this is, you know, you can't just pick Eriksen because he's played well in the last 2 or 3 games. Football's not that simple. For me, every day of the week, Agate over Eriksen makes total sense because you want to be a little bit more combative in the midfield. And what Eriksen is, Agate isn't. And in some games, what Eriksen is better than Agate. And then in some games, you need Agate. And I think for me today, that's what it's all about. I think Agate is the right selection. I'm sure if we lose the game, people will say, look, Matt says Eriksen's not good enough. He'll cost us goals. And he cost us a goal the other night. He literally cost us a goal the other night. I don't think that's why he's been dropped. I think he's been dropped because you've got to put the guy to win the ball back against the team that wants possession. Spurs, in their quintessential perfect game, will have 70% possession, create loads of chances. We already know Spurs in the league this season have created the most corners, the most shots, the most touches in the box. They're a very good side. We need somebody to stop them doing that. And Eriksen's not a stopper. Agate is. So I agree with that. I agree with Beth. I think he's unlucky not to start, and I'm sure he won't be very happy, but this is what you need. Rotation, picking your best team for the game. So, look, I don't sit here. I'll be a hypocrite. If I said, oh, I can't believe he's dropped Eriksen. The last few games I've said, I can't believe he's picked Eriksen. It's very brave, and it has worked. So I'm hoping that, you know, not picking Eriksen today will work as well. I would have started Rasmus, says Gert. I would have done as well, but we don't know the fitness levels, do we? We don't know whether Rasmus is ready to start at the moment, but I would have started Rasmus. But I'm hoping Xerxes, another player that's had a bit of criticism, I hope that he can have a good game as well. And Ahmad, I would say, is very, very unlucky, Ahmad. But is he not as unlucky as Rashford not to start against Crystal Palace? Is it not the same as when Garnacho's not started? We've got 3 wingers and we can only pick 2. I'm really not going to get into it massively, although I'm going to get into it. A lot of people want Ahmad to start. A lot of people want Rashford to start. A lot of people want Garnacho to start. My stance is Garnacho should be playing on the left and then Ahmad should be playing on the right. But we've had this conversation for 2 years. Marcus Rashford, Ten Hag is a massive fan of his, and he's got a very good record against Spurs. So Rashford was never going to get dropped. So then you've got a choice between Garnacho and Ahmad. And some people would go Ahmad, but for me, Garnacho's got to start these games. Like, he makes things happen. And look, Rashford didn't start against Palace, but he was on after an hour. Ahmad can still have an impact off the bench. So, look, I'd rather have 3 wingers competing for 2 spots than 1 form winger and needing 2. So it's just one of those, I think. I think Ahmad is unlucky, but you can only pick 2. I hope Bruno has a good game after Wednesday, says Chris. You know what? If there's, I think Agate is the most important player. Like, I think it's so important that he has a good game because we need to get control of that midfield. I hope the referee's not a prat and doesn't start handing out stupid yellow cards, because that is something that I've said before. It's the same with Casemiro. You buy a player to do a certain job, but then if you've got turbo prat referees who decide they're going to target Casemiro for yellow cards, then it sort of distinguishes what he can do, extinguishes. But I would love Bruno to have a good game today. I really would love Bruno to have a great game today. I think he's had a lot of criticism. It's valid criticism in some ways. In other ways, it's completely over the top. But I would love him to have a great game. I'd love it. Should fans be worried if Man United lose? We'll talk about that. Ricardo says Eriksen for Bruno and Ahmad for Rashford would be perfect. I hope Bruno has a good game, says Chris. Thanks, Ricardo, for saying Eriksen for Bruno and Ahmad for Rashford. Thank you very much for your super chat. You can do that through the $sign if you wish. Appreciate your support. Ikoff says, should fans be worried if Man United lose? Well, we're always worried if we lose. When, I think that's completely unacceptable. Bienda Lindelof, no Maguire on the bench. Bienda Lindelof, Mount, Højlund, Eriksen, Ahmad, Casemiro, Anthony and Evans. Harry Maguire not on the bench for Manchester United. Must be injured again. At what point is Harry Maguire injury prone, by the way? For the last 12, I've said this, for the last 18 months, Harry Maguire picks up a lot of injuries. And that could be a loss for us, because in a game like this, if you did lose De Ligt and you've got to bring somebody on, I would rather it would be Maguire than Lindelof, to be fair. But, I don't know what's happened. Apparently he's picked up a knock in training, says Hazer. There's no excuses with this team. I'm excited, says the Wheelbarrow. Please rank Rashford, Garnacho and Xerxes, please. Well, Garnacho, Rashford, Xerxes at the moment would be my top 3. As if, welcome to Members Club. Solid midfield. Curious to see how the forwards play, says Ankit. And Jason, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for getting your badge in. Love that. Really, really do. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the Spurs team next. No Heung-min Son. I can't pronounce his name. I should have just said no Son. The sun ain't gonna shine anymore. Well, he's not going to shine today. It's not going to shine today because he's not in the team. Son is out for Spurs. I keep clicking the wrong thing here. I'm going to get angry. Right, let's have a look at the Spurs side. We've got a competition for you to enter in a minute and a bit of trivia, but let's have a quick look at this Spurs side. So I'm quite pleased with the Spurs side, and I'll tell you for why. Villa have just drawn with Ipswich, by the way. We play Villa next week, but today it's about today. Tomorrow can take care of itself. Top 4 is on. Must have come from the fan forum. I'm not thinking about top 4. I'm thinking about winning today. There's nothing, Mr. Miyagi used to say, nothing in the whole world exists, only tree. He was obsessed with Fellaini, apparently. He had a picture on his wall. But Nothing exists apart from this 90 minutes. I'm not looking at top 4 or sacking the manager or anything else. It's just about this game. Vicario, Udogie, Van der Ven, Romero, Porro picks itself. It's their best back 5. Into the midfield, this is where I think we can have an impact. Maddison, Bentancur and Kulusevski is very... There's no steel there. I don't see an aggression in there. You know, Basuma and Sarr are a little bit more aggressive. I think with Mainu and Ugarte, we really could get to grips with that midfield if it goes our way. But it's very attacking. Maddison and Kulusevski are in their midfield. They're attacking players. And then they've got Werner, Solanke and Brennan Johnson. So 5 attackers there. No Son. But they have got Basuma, Sarr on the bench, Dragusin. Yeah, their bench ain't that great. Their bench is not that great for Spurs, to be honest. We've got to get this game done. We've got to get this game done. You know, we've got to win this game. We have to win this game. I think Anthony will leave in January or next summer, says Ross. Still very early in the season. Big up to you, Mark. I love the community you created. I think we should go for Zakaria in the summer. Did you watch George Weah play, says Cameron. Random. I did see George Weah play. LG says, I'm more balanced midfield for United. Should be dominating that area. Thank you very much, LG. I'm very excited for the game, says Locke. Hopefully we can get a good result. I'm going with a 2-1 win. Also, do you like the band Texas? I don't think it's cool to like the band Texas, to be honest, but I quite liked that song they did, I Don't Wanna Love Her. I've got the TV on. Guess what player is on the screen? Quick guess. What player do you think they've got the cameras on today? Just to make a change from every fucking game I've watched this season, what player do you think they've got the camera on today? And apparently the fans put the pressure on this player. They never fucking stop. Every single game, every bloody camera. It's ridiculous. No wonder he gets overhyped. They can't take the bloody cameras off him. I don't think he's even our best player. Like, just let him get on with playing. Locke, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. I'm excited to see Kobe and Ugarte. I think, am I right in saying, McElvis, that this is the first time we've seen Kobe and Ugarte start together? Which is, you know, exactly what I want to see in our midfield. You got the lineup. What will be the score, says Carmine? I went 1-1, but we need to win. You forgot about Anthony. You've got 4 wingers, says Truck. Ericsson for Bruno and Ahmad for Rashford's perfect, says Ricardo. Okay, right. I'm going to do this now because you've got a great opportunity here. It's a competition. A lot of people have been saying that's a very nice jumper, Mark. Well, it's just a simple jumper. A simple jumper from Boohoo Man. It's the sort of thing I like to wear in the autumn to just chill out, relax, do a stream with. And we've always got that code for you at boohooman.com. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. You can get 10% off with the code Goldbridge. It's that simple. They've got all the sorts of clothing that you want. Absolutely incredible. Get your orders in today. You know, gym wear, football wear, relaxing wear, you know, lovely wear. And also, they've got an amazing giveaway for you. Boohoo Man is giving away an £800 voucher to one lucky United Stand viewer. To enter, simply scan the QR code or click the link in the description, enter the competition, and you could be spending £800 at Boohoo Man. You could get yourself 10 of these and still have loads of money left and get them in different colours. Or just do what I would do. I'd probably buy 4 in the black because I just think, well, it's nice and I'd like to have 4 of them. Absolutely easy to get involved in. And also, if you can't wait to get your orders in, as I said, get over there. They've got loads of discounts and you can get 10% on top of any discount with the code Goldbridge. Check it out. Links in the description. But they've also got a bit of trivia for you this watch along. See if you can guess this. Big shout out to Boohoo Man. I was born on the 13th of February 1994. I made my senior debut for the Netherlands in 2013 and the following year was part of the squad that came third at the 2014 FIFA World Cup. I was a PSV Eindhoven top scorer in the 2014-15 season with 22 goals in 30 games, which is incredible when you think what we bought and what he became. Because, of course, he joined Man United in June 2015, made his debut against Club America in Seattle on the 17th of July. In 2017, I signed a 4.5-year deal with the French club Lyon, and I also began my hip-hop music career in June 2017 with the song LA Vibes. Yeah. That hip-hop career obviously didn't do very well because that's the only time I heard of it and I've not heard of it since. Who is it? Let us know in the chat. Get the name in there. And don't forget, you can win that £800 voucher. It's exclusive for the United Stand viewers, so one of you is going to win it. Link, scan the QR code or links in the description. Get that entered today. And if you want to just go out and buy some stuff, use the code Goldbridge for a discount of 10%. Big shout out to Boohoo Man, of course. Lots of people are getting it in the chat. Of course, it was Memphis Depay. Of course, it was Memphis Depay. I would have known that without knowing the answer anyway. I'm not stupid. Yeah, you know what? He was a very. We signed him early, didn't we? We actually got him. We announced that signing in the March or the April, so we knew we were getting him, and he was unbelievable. He was absolutely unbelievable at PSV, and just didn't work out, did it? Doesn't always work out. Doesn't always work out. Colin Bolger is gifted a membership. You're a legend, mate. Glenn says, as we build, some players need to realise they can't start every game, and sometimes a player can play well and be dropped the next game because of tactics. I agree, Glenn. I agree. Mark, have you been invited to take part in Strictly yet? And would you do it? PT, in a way, I'm surprised I've never been asked to do Strictly, because some people they've asked on, I don't even know who they bloody are. Would I do it? I probably would, you know. I've always fancied a bit of dancing, and, you know, you get fit doing it. So I probably would do Strictly, to be fair. Joshua, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. As we build, I've done that one from Glenn. It was a very good point. Rudolph the Red says, we've got to get it done today. No more hiding from these players. Sabotashi's not confident. A little bit worried about the midfield spaces we left behind. And also we need to take care of Pedro Porro. He's very good. Yes, Marcus Rashford's got a bit of pressure on him. I don't want to put any more on him. He's got to have a good game today. There's a lot of people that aren't happy that Ahmad's not playing, and Rashford's going to have to work hard today. But he is quite an important player in a high line as well. Remember, he's probably the quickest forward we've got. So I actually think, as much as I like Garnacho on the left, I completely understand why Rashford's playing today. You know, he's got a good record against Spurs, and he's quick. Or is he quick? A lot of people think he's lost his pace. But yeah, look, people who are worried, I'm always worried. I'm always worried because you just don't know how the game is going to go. But honestly, I can't really pick a better team than that. I can bring Ahmad in and I can take a winger out. I could swap Xerxes with Rasmus, but in relation to the midfield, that's the midfield I've wanted to see. That is the midfield I have wanted to see. I have wanted to see Agate, Mainu and Bruno. Now, Bruno's out of form. Mainu's looked a bit tired. And Agate's only just got here. But that's the midfield three I've wanted. So I can't really moan about it. The crowd has to play a big part today. The players have to deliver today. Hopefully the back four can build on what they've done so far. If we create the chances, we've got to be clinical. So... yeah, I'm glad that Son's not playing for Spurs. And, you know what? I actually heard somebody say, oh, yeah, lucky United, Son isn't playing. I thought, hold on a minute. We haven't had a fit left back for 8 months. Lucky United because Son's missing. We haven't had a fit left back for 8 months. We haven't got a bloody left back. So, all right, you haven't got Son, but we haven't got a bloody left back. So, you know... swings and roundabouts, mate. We haven't got a left back. So, yeah. Look, injuries happen to everybody, don't they? Would you do I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, says Justin? I don't know about that. I don't think I'd last very long. You know how moody I am. How does Ange not rest his best player before this type of game, says Solly. And to be fair, you guys had the whole summer to buy a new one. Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, we did. You're right, Young Knight. We did, but... I'm just saying, we have, as fans, we haven't got a left back. Mike B says Eric Ten Hag struggles to answer questions in English. How can he properly communicate to his team, mate? I think you're over egging the pudding there. I think you might, Mike. I think you're miles off. You know, in the Netherlands they learn English from like school age. He might not be able to speak it as fluently. And understand the little niches of English language, but he knows the language and he can get it across. Would you take Leao at United, says Chris? I wouldn't mind taking Leao at Manchester United. I don't think he's a priority player for us at the moment. I predict a 4-2 win. This will be a crazy game, says Hyens. Well, I'm standing up. I'm going to get the standing up desk going. Don't you worry about that. I'm like a bloody Jack in a box at the moment. I'm ready to jump around. I won't be able to sit still for this one. It's one of those games in the season that matters. And look, every game matters, but some games matter more than others, and I think it's massive. Globetrotter says, good midfield, good defence. Looking forward to seeing Rasmus work his way back into the team. Friendly competition is what we need. Exactly. Oliver Anderson, welcome to the Members Club. Joshua NYC, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. Get your badge in the chat if you want to do that. Constantine says, you missed my super chat. Right, Constantine, I don't need those sort of things. I will try and find it, but it's a watch along on the United stand. It's crazy, okay? I ain't got. It's not like that's football. I ain't got time to just go back finding stuff because there's so many. Right, I can't see it, mate. So I can't see it. So Glenn, we've done that. Constantine, Globetrotter, Chris, Mike B. You see, it's just killed the flow completely. Lee Berman says, if we do not exploit their defence on corners, we're missing a trick. Delit may get chances, says Lee. Yeah, they're not great at that. Okay, Constantine. No, I can't see it, mate. So it's not there. Sorry. 5-0 United, I'm confident, says Chris. Is Seb moody like you, says Evan. Okay, we're not going to be talking about my son on a stream like this. Thank you. Hi, Mark. Can you shout out my friend's YouTube channel? Yeah, I'm not reading that. Sheep. Okay, we've got moderators. Let's get moderating. This is a serious game for Manchester United, and we need to win it. Constantine, as a friend of the channel, I've been up and down 3 times, and it's not there. So I hope you weren't doing that as a troll, which is one of the big things I don't like when people do that. Do you think Ahmad can play at left back, says Fudgy? Okay, let Goldbridge get the brains back into this chat because we've got a few prats going on at the moment. I think it's. I think that the team that he's picked, as I said, is probably the right team. Spurs are going to be very dangerous on the attack. We've got to be careful about being counter-attacked ourselves. When you're at home, the onus is to attack. But Spurs, you can get in behind them. As I said before, I think with regards to this game, we are in a situation where both teams are going to be in crisis if they lose. Now, both teams can't lose, but it is that sort of a game where whoever loses this, you know, it's the old crisis on Monday morning, isn't it? You know, everyone's going to be... It's incredible because it's all been about Ten Hag before this game, but I was actually thinking about this last night. If we win, sod Spurs, I'm only interested in Manchester United, but if we win this game, ridiculously, there will be people calling up saying Ange out. And yet if he wins, everybody be happy. And it's like, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible to me that's how it works. Now, I understand it with Man United, it's year 3, etc. But it's just not, for me, that sort of game for Spurs. But it will be that sort of game for Spurs because that's how it always seems to be. It's like, but that's their problem. My point is, it's a massive game for both teams. We're fully aware of that. And I think that what we've got to do is really hammer home the home advantage. I think there's a lot of people... I'd say it's the silent majority. I'd say the silent majority. I don't know what you think. I'd say the silent majority at Manchester United in our fan base actually want this to work. And they want it to work because they don't want another rebuild or whatever. So I think that the vast majority do want to see Manchester United winning. And I think that will be reflected in the crowd today, hopefully, and we can generate an atmosphere of real, what's the word? Intimidation. Because, as I said, I watched Newcastle play yesterday against Man City, and the crowd were fantastic. And, you know, sometimes Old Trafford and Anfield gets it levelled at them for being a little bit quiet, but there is a huge part to play. Look, the crowd being loud is not going to beat Spurs. But the crowd being loud when you've got a bit of pressure, or the crowd being loud when you are 1-0 up, can have an impact. So I'm hoping that we get the full package today. Swedish broadcaster killing Ten Hag, saying he has to go. NAU, thank you very much. What do you think about Delot's role in these 2 latest games, dropping into the midfield? Seems like Martinez doesn't have as many options as Eddie Love. Well, it'll be interesting to see if he does that, because I think he's been doing that with Eriksen, hasn't he? Who probably needed that defensive support. Please do subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, by the way. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe to the United Stand. We're getting very close to 940,000 on the road to 2 million. We're about 500 away. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, live every morning at 10 o'clock. And obviously for the watch-alongs, we've got our match reaction show straight after this, where you get to vote on the player ratings, marking every player out of 10, 6 being the average, star for your man of the match. I'm hoping I don't give a shit who gets man of the match today, but it would be great if it was Ugarte or Bruno or Rashford or Garnacho, because you know, I think if any of them get it, we've probably won the game. Excited to see Garnacho go up against the Udogie. Who's your player to watch? Says Andrew. As I said before, Andrew, I think the Ugarte selection is massive. Not in the sense that, you know, if Ugarte has an average game, I don't think it's the end of the world. But I think if he has a good game, this could be the vision of what we want to see. I think Eriksen's done really well over the last few days and the last few games. But I don't think there's anything long-term in that. Whereas I think if this works today with Mainu and Ugarte, if this works, this is the vision that most of us had. Just a random one. Do you think United Stand would have been successful if United was successful, says Dominic? Yes, 100%. Because there's plenty of other United channels out there and they're nowhere near as big as us. And some of them are around longer than us. So I think the secret to the success of this channel is the way we present and interact and work with our community. So our biggest watch stream relatively was winning the Europa League as well. So yeah, I don't buy into that at all. And also for the last 2 years, we've been ridiculously positive trying to back this team and this manager, and yet we still grow and we still get an audience. So this game will be end-to-end with the midfield lineup both teams have. That Spurs midfield lineup is a strange one. Didn't work when they played Arsenal, says Kilted. The game will be won or lost in the midfield, says Warren. I agree. What happens to Ten Hag if we lose the game, says Luke. I don't, mate. We can talk about that afterwards. What's the point in talking about it before? The pressure will be immense. I don't know whether it'd lead to him being sacked. Grant84 on TikTok. Thanks for the follow, by the way. What do you think about Delo's role? We've done. Yuri the Red says 5-1 to United. Our midfield looks promising. Sky Sports still going on about Rashford being dropped, but not Garnacho, says Tony. Will the players be motivated today to win, says John. We've got a problem if they're not. Greens117, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. What do we think about Tottenham, says Isaac. They're a good team. Glad to see my prediction of Mount and Bruno false 9 was wrong, says Patrick. I think we're all glad about that. Thank you very much. I think it will be an interesting game, actually. I think everybody who says it might be a bit of a basketball game and go end to end, you can understand why. You know, traditionally we're quite wide open in the midfield. Spurs want to attack. We want to attack. You can imagine a game like that, but doesn't necessarily mean it will be. I don't really care how this plays out as long as Manchester United win. But, you know, this league's a funny old league. I've gone with a draw. I've gone with a draw. Let's wait and see. If you could bring any one player from the past to this team, who would it be? It would be Keno for me, says Gaz, a leader, and he would get the others performing. Well, I'd have to agree with you, pal, because when you look at I think the midfield is, you know, as many of you have said, the game will be won and lost in the midfield. And I've highlighted the importance of Ugarte to give us some steel in the midfield. So I would agree that, yeah, it's going to be that area for me where, you know, you want to bring somebody in and you want them to do well. And I think that, yeah, I would completely agree that I'd be looking at the situation of bringing Roy Keane in. Well, we're ready to go here. It's time to go with the desk. It's time to literally stand up and be counted. You'll only see one of me, but it's too important to sit down. Let's have it. Let's have it. In every sense of the word. There is Ugarte. The cameras know for once what they're talking about. Nervous. Spurs are having a cuddle. Or should we call it a huddle? Call it what you like. It's Spurs at the end of the day. I mean, I don't know whether they've got Roy Keane on Sky, but as he would always say, it's Spurs. What do you expect? Well, What do you expect? I expect a Manchester United win. Thanks everyone who's watching. Make sure you give us a follow if you're on TikTok. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner if you're on YouTube. This game is up and running already. Onana goes long. I understand why now. Man City do it. Arsenal do it. I'm not going to criticise it again. I've been schooled. Do you mind pausing for 15 seconds? I don't want spoilers, says Marcus. It's my 4-year anniversary since I found the channel, says Tony. Welcome to the channel. Werner on for Son. How much do you rate him, says HC. I don't actually think Werner's terrible. Yeah, I don't think he's absolutely terrible, but let's have it. Bruno pressing from the start. Rashford pressing from the start. Mainu pressing from the start. Goes out for a throw-in to Spurs. Hi, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Hoping for a good game, says Rub. Thank you very much, Rub. Appreciate that. Thanks for your super chat. First 15 minutes are important. Get settled into the game. Pressure them. Don't let them settle. Get a bit of the ball ourselves. Confidence. I mean, look, player for player, if it all works, Bruno, Xerxes, Garnacho, Rashford, Mainu, Agate, Delo, Martinez, De Ligt, Mazraoui. There's a lot of good players out there, potentially, isn't there? But potential's not what does it. Spurs on the ball at the moment. United haven't won it. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a really stupid from Man United there to allow... Oh, Xerxes. We've got to get on. You know what? I know we're only a minute and a half in, but I don't like the way they've just hit a ball straight over the top and put a cross in very, very easily. And they're winning a lot of second balls here. Bruno turning into trouble. Okay, we need to settle here, lads. Why don't you criticise the long ball anymore from Onana? Because Pep does it. Everybody does it. Apparently, it's about stretching the game early on. What are we doing? Passing out from the back here. Passing out from the back badly. Oh, welcome to the Premier League, everybody. Let's all pass out from the back. Shit. Why does everybody do it? Right, here's Bruno. Come on. There's a lovely ball. Garnacho, he can't do that, but Rashford can. Come on. Oh, one of you. Come on. Communicate. Communicate, lads. Alfie's just gifted a membership. Van der Ven goes into the box. It's 1-0. Oh, my God. Oh, my fucking God. I cannot believe what Van der Ven has just done. He's ran from the back to the front, crossed the ball to the back post, and Brennan Johnson's got a tap in. Where's the fucking discipline in this team? Where's the concentration in this team? Absolutely incredible. Fucking idiots. You know what that comes from? Rashford and Garnacho running away from the fucking ball. We were in possession of the ball. We've got the break. And Rashford and Garnacho just switch off. And then no one tackles Van der Ven. And who's meant to be marking Brennan Johnson here? Absolute fucking idiots. It's like watching a fucking hippo on roller skates. All over the fucking place. Who's marking him? Fucking hell. These fucking players. No concentration. Oh, mate. Pricks. Absolute fucking pricks. They wind me up so much. That first 2 minutes, it started Martinez trying to play out from the back to Rashford. Misplaced pass. Xerxes, ball into feet. Miscontrols. Bruno, ball into feet. Miscontrols. Rashford goes past the ball. Miscontrols. You can't start like that in the Premier League. Lack of concentration and care on the fucking ball. Absolute. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Oh, man. Fucking Spurs as well. And what does Delo think his job is? Can somebody explain to me what Delo was doing, by the way? Last time I checked, we were on the breakaway. What are you doing? Running up to celebrate the fucking goal? Left your phone on in the dressing room. What's more important than actually defending and marking your fucking winger? I just find it incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's going to be 2-0 here. The fuck are we doing? Mate, these lot, I tell you what, if you played past the parcel with this United side, they'd drop it. Fancy going 1-0 down in 2 bloody minutes. Well, test the character now. I am raging. I'm absolutely raging. Rocker Bolton says, this playing out from the back doesn't work. Mate, how many teams are doing it these days? And how many goals? I don't know. Agate a bit poor there. Looks like Casemiro, says Meek. Musk says Ten Hag out. And Zuteng says, Agate's jogging. Stop Van der Ben. I'm tired of Agate already, says Zuteng. They've never heard of tackle space. Was poor, says Luke. It's not talent they lack, it's brains, says James. Bring on Agate, says White. Class by Van der Ven, says Joe. Well, I'm just watching this run by Van der Ven here, and it's not like he hasn't done it before. He just powers through it. I mean, you say Agate put a tackle in. He's at full sprint. You put a tackle in there, you're getting booked. You know, he's like an express train. You know, I don't get it. For me, that goal is on Rashford and Garnacho. It's like we're on the break and they both run away from the ball. Gary Neville blamed it on De Ligt. I think at that point he's running so fast, Van der Ven. I know what Neville's talking about. You've got to stop the cross, and you have got to stop the cross. But you know, it's not like it's not like Harry Maguire's going to stop him in that situation. Long way to go, but we've got to switch on here. I can't believe I'm saying those words. I feel like can you sub me off? Is Beth around? Sub me off. Bloody hell. Oh, for fuck's sake. Xerxes having a fucking nightmare as well. I don't agree with Xerxes starting, by the way. I'm being nice. I don't agree with him starting. I think his confidence is on the fucking floor. Rasmus must not be fit. Because I just think this, I think Xerxes' confidence is on the floor. And Rasmus just must not be fit. Rashford's thrown it out already, says Marker. Melvin, welcome to Members Club. Rich, thanks very much. 18 months. Poor communication, going crazy, says Endib. I'm genuinely sorry, says Natasha. Ineos out, the review failed, says Dino. Thank you very much for that. Look, Spurs are a good side. Spurs are a good side, and they'll eat up a bad side. Rashford through the middle. Go on, go on. Oh, he's got to go. How's he bobbled that shot? It must have bobbled up for him. Or is he offside? No, he's onside, surely. Linesman's not going to give that. He's through one-on-one. This is what you can do. He's had a push in the back. It's a push in the back before he's had the shot. Pushed him in the back. Why is it not a corner? Offside. Fuck off. As if the referee knows that's offside. He's fucking guessing, mate. Can't be offside there. We're playing like we're drunk. Could end up 6-0, says Jim. Apart from Son, is there anyone world-class at Spurs? Why, when they play us, do they look like that way? Spurs have been playing well all season, HC. People actually rate Delo, says Untasty. Maddison's just nearly scored again. They're going to get fucking battered here, mate. They're going to get... They're not up for this. These players are not up for this game. Based on this first 10 minutes, we are not up for this. Fucking hell, man. Daniel says players are not playing well enough. What can Erik ten Hag do? Rasmus and Xerxes, the same player. No, they're not, Miko. Loads of teams play out from the back, but it does not seem to suit us, says Steve. Went to the kitchen for a cappuccino. What's going on, says Clayton. Players aren't playing well enough. What can Ten Hag do? We're playing like we're drunk, says Jim. Apart from... I've done that one as well. This is going to be 2-0 in a minute. We are playing absolutely shit. Absolutely shit. They're going to... Spurs have started off fantastically well. They're going to absolutely fucking kill us in a minute. I wouldn't go as far as to say the players have switched off or are downing tools. They're just playing absolutely shit. Did they not get the memo? Did they not realise Spurs are a good side? Top Hat Man says Ten Hag will be blamed for the goals, not the players. Nearly 2 years of being a member and United is still the same, says Ronan. At the start, we are in the dressing room again, says Chris. Players have given up, says Dem. And Josh says he's absolutely sick of Bruno throwing arms up like a spoiled child. Maybe players want Ollie back, says Magic. And Andre says, we're mentally crushed. Mate, why are they mentally crushed? We haven't lost since Liverpool. They've got no reason to be mentally crushed. They just can't be trusted. I've said this before. You cannot trust these United players. For some reason, they're just not trustworthy. Ahmed and Garnacho work. Bruno should have been benched for Mount, and Rashford anyway doesn't track back, says Red Devil. Same lack of cohesion, says Bear Merchant. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Thanks for the follow on TikTok. Cool. Adam says, are Spurs playing well or are United playing badly? Well, Spurs aren't playing badly and Man United are, is how I would put it. I mean, I wouldn't say Spurs are having to work particularly hard at the moment, but they've got a system that works. They're being they're very comfortable on the ball. United just don't look like they can string a pass together at the moment. They're on to us every fucking time. Oh, fuck off, Maddison. You fouled him, you prick. Come on. Mark, they are not press resistant. They can't even bypass Stevie Wonder. I don't understand why we can control a ball for 5 minutes, for God's sake. And Kulusevski is ripping us apart at the moment, says Haas. Well done, Agate, because that pass was short. Right, here we go. Bruno, that's a good ball. That's a good ball. Rashford puts the cross in. Ah, it's not a good enough cross. Not good enough. The manager's tactics aren't good enough for the top games. It's sad to see. We look terrible. Aldo, look, I understand the criticism. We've had 15 minutes at Old Trafford. I don't need to be told his manager's tactics aren't good enough. We played very well against Crystal Palace last week. We've started off very, very badly here. It's not looking good, Brev, but, you know, let's not start telling us what's going to happen in the whole game when we haven't had the whole game yet. We just need to settle the game down a little bit, have a couple of chances, because at the moment Spurs can smell blood and they're trying to get the game won, as you would do. If I was away from home and had scored after 2 minutes, I'd be going for goal 2. Crowd turns, game's won. We've got to try and get a foothold back in the game. Frank C says, no ball retention. Midfield getting bypassed again. And favourite FC. What a great Sunday. Not sure who to blame anymore, says Frank. The player power stink is still here. It's like the only thing that will change is the hairdryer treatment, says Kana Dave. I'll tell you this. If Rashford and Bruno don't put in a good performance in this game and we lose another manager, I will say it. I will say it. How many managers do you want to fucking sack? How many managers has Bruno and Rashford sacked if we sack Ten Hag? 3? 4? I'm not saying don't sack Ten Hag. I'm just saying how many more managers are we going to sack for these players? And how many more times are they going to get another chance? You know, they've got to start fucking delivering, whether it's Ten Hag, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jose Mourinho. Clearly, no manager can make them consistent. They've got to make themselves consistent. Slippy says the lack of effort and urgency is unacceptable. Go on, that should have gone to Garnacho. Come on, let's have a bit of possession. See, look at the Spurs wall at the moment. It's going to be very difficult to... Oh, for fuck's sake. The carelessness with the ball when there's no one near us is absolutely shocking. They're so panicked. And I haven't got any sympathy because they brought it on themselves. Here's Rashford. He's going to overrun this. Yeah. Fuck, what a surprise. Well done, mate. He's just shepherded you out for a fucking goal kick. Where are you actually going here? Just running... I mean, people think this is a good run. This is Porro saying you're going nowhere. You're going nowhere. You're going absolutely nowhere. Abby says, I thought Rashford was back. I remember United fans pundit saying Bruno over Odegaard, says 58 go. Xerxes doesn't run, he hops along, says Niki. How many mistakes already, says It's Cyan. And it looks like Bruno isn't a captain. He's not motivating the team, says Tib. Why do we always start games so slowly, says Daryl. You know what? You could easily say the players just look scared. They look terrified. Well, take the fucking shirt off. Hand in your contract. Don't take any more wages and fuck off. What did you think was going to happen when you came to Manchester United? If you can't deal with the pressure, get out. Get it together, says Xander. Maguire on for De Ligt. LC says Maguire would have had the back post. Yeah, mate. One thing is that Maguire would not be on the back post because he doesn't play left back. And secondly, there ain't no way Maguire is stopping Van der Ven, who was running at 100 miles an hour straight at him. Here's Garnacho. Mazraoui, you should have put that in first time, mate. First fucking time with the cross. Why is he taking a touch there? Why is he taking a touch there? Why is he not just whipping that in? Baffling. Baffling. That guy says, I'm done with this lot. We look lost and unorganised. Darcy says, Rashford doesn't care. Big mistake selling McTominay. At least he tackles. That's a double negative, mate. He was crap at tackling. He was good at scoring. We're playing like an away team, says John. Well, the big problem is, one of the big advantages I hoped we would have today is the home crowd. But when you concede in the first 2 minutes, you deflate the home crowd. Missing every fucking tackle here as well. This could be 2. Is it the post? I mean, how is Onana getting beat from there? How is Onana getting beat from there? I've seen lampposts move quicker than him. Look at his positioning again. He needs to be a step further forward. He's nowhere near that. He hasn't got that covered at all. You shouldn't get beat done there. You should not be getting done there. Very lucky not to be 2-0 down. Would you have got David personally in the transfer window, but hope Xerxes can prove me wrong, says King. Playing like children, running around nervous makes the opponent's job so easy. They have to calm down and think, says Gabrielle. Rashford and Bruno are bad, but he keeps picking them, says Frank C. Bruno, Delo, Rashford, Maguire, Shaw, Lindelof have sacked so many managers. They are the problem. They need to be called out for the insane bad mentality, says Stig. The advert board, it's too close to the pitch, says Franklin. I don't think that's our biggest problem at the moment, mate. Can't catch a break. I'm so tired. We didn't deserve this, says Mario. It looks like a Dogie's coming off here for Spurs, which is, you know, another blow for Spurs. You've started off fantastically well here. Looks like Jed Spence will be coming on. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Delit and Mazraoui just got carved open there. I think Udogie just did his muscle. Delo's got to block that shot as well. You know, you can say how is that ending up on target, but it's lovely play by. I mean, if this ends up being a goal again, it's come from Spurs' defensive line. The first goal comes from Van der Ven at centre back, and that would have been a goal from Udogie at left back. Clayton says, I wish we had a younger Ericsson. Same old crap, just a different season, says Tony. It's not looking good, Brev, says World Padlock. Mr. Darkside says, good players are consistent, but he has got the players he wants. He has picked the players he wants. Ten Hag needs to pull a Deschamps and sub off Rashford and Bruno in the 20th minute, says Paul. Mainu into the box. Does well. Cuts it back. That's fucking what I mean. This guy's got no confidence up front. I want him to do well, but he's got no confidence up front. That's like Premier League. He ain't got any confidence. Should be 1-1. That should be a goal. You know, you can't... It doesn't matter whether you're Erling Haaland or his mum. You've got to score that. And especially in a game like this where it's going end to end. Okay, now another cut. I tell you what, can I just say this? Mazraoui is getting torn a new one. Mazraoui is getting torn apart. Noah O'Kane says, how many chances does our 9.5 want? Josh says, how the mighty have fallen. Mate, you must have your telly in slow-mo, super slow-mo. How the mighty have fallen. Where have you been for the last decade? We've already been beaten by Spurs at Old Trafford years ago. We've been shit for 10 years, mate. How the mighty have fallen. Bloody hell. Bring in Emery, says Morgan. What are they doing in training all week, says Salim. Sick of watching these headless chickens, says Wayne. We're lacking intelligence so much, says Eridi. Mate, we're playing like a away team. It's Old Trafford, for God's sake, says Mo Salah. And wish we had a younger Ericsson. We've done. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. I mean, look. Spurs should probably be 2-0 up. But Xerxes should have scored that chance as well. Pissing in the window with this team. They look so scared to touch the ball, says Fairway 5. Well, this is the biggest problem with United. We've seen it time and time again. When things go against them, the heads are, you know, they put a magnet on their head and it hits the ground. Like, they look terrified, and Spurs are growing in confidence, which is the last thing you want. He's won that ball. Give him the foul. London and Manchester is blue, says Aidan. What's London got to do with it? Pissing in the wind, says Fairway 5. Wonder if we've beaten by every Premier League club, or at least once since Sir Alex left, says Noah. No. Hey, Brennan Johnson was a player Spurs fans were booing. Must have scored 3 in his last 3. We look like the team who played on Thursday, says Chris. Xerxes watched Veghorst highlights as a kid, says Simon Stone. Good into... Oh, fucking Xerxes again! Agate wins the ball high up the pitch. And he can't play Rashford in. That was a really good interception by Agate. Goes to Xerxes. All he's got to do is slip Rashford in and he fucks the pass up. Mate, he looks like a kid who is absolutely dead on his feet confidence-wise at the moment. You can't carry that. Spurs taking the piss here. Oh, good clearance by Mazraoui. Xerxes, another basketball match. Headless Chicken FC, says Corey. Ten Hag's decisions are going backwards. He bought Mount to start and Rashford for Garnacho for the left side. Amad or Anthony was meant to be on the right, says Tomo. If anything, okay, Thomas, okay. Another basketball match, done that. Sorry, Mark, but Bruno is part of the midfield problem. He plays as second striker and leaves the midfield open, says Cal. Sam, thank you very much. Can we go back to the career mode, please, says Ben. Rashford is shocking. His passing is dreadful, says Morgan. I'd bring Rasmus, Mason, Eriksson on now. Don't delay, says Constantine. I hate to say but this could be terminal for Eric, says McElvis. We can still make top 6 without beating Spurs. Ten Hag will get the best out of these players, says 20 times. I presume that is pure sarcasm. We look like the team who played on Thursday. We've done that. Xerxes needs to convert the chances. Rasmus needs to come on. Xerxes got no confidence. I want the lad to do well, but he needs to be putting the ball in the back of the net. Look, I think at the very highest level of football, Nigel, you can't carry players that are lacking in confidence. I mean, hopefully they will turn into good players, but already in this game, he's missed a chance to put Rashford through one-on-one. And he's missed a chance to make it 1-1. We talk about clinical taking your chances. Spurs have played very, very well, but the fact is, he looks bereft of confidence. I feel sorry for the fans in the stadium. We are such an off team, and today we are sleeping, says English Saturn. Andre says, what's the plan now? Not for this game, but for the team in our future, because this season we're probably finishing mid-table again. I always felt that... Xerxes was looked clumsy, even with the Dutch side, says Krish. Why is Xerxes playing over Rasmus, says Ryan. And James says Spurs might not have any steel in the midfield, but they're moving the ball so well. My birthday's tomorrow, says Swag. At least it's not today, mate. Be destroyed. That's Hoth says, I absolutely hate as well that Rasmus in his entire time at United has never had so many clear-cut, easy opportunities that Xerxes had in 6 weeks. And Noah says, why are we still playing a 4-4-2? And Tony says, I just wonder what these so-called good players would be like with a change of manager. I'm losing my patience. What these good players would do with the new manager is try for about 6 months and then stop trying, basically. I mean, the scary thing for me is that Delo is playing shit. Mazraoui is playing shit. So many of our players are playing absolute shite that you wouldn't expect to be shite. Like, we can't get... Spurs are beating us man for man. I don't want to say that, but, there is obviously a massive overarching blame that will go towards the manager. But whilst this game is being played, because at full time, if we lose this game, you're going to get all the experts and all the haters and everyone else going, sack the manager, sack the manager, sack the manager. And that's fine. I ain't got a problem with that. But while the game's on, can I just point something out? What is it got to do with the manager when Delo is playing fucking shite? He couldn't pass a fucking parcel and he's playing absolutely shit. And Delo's not the only one. Like, what's that got to do with the manager when the players are playing fucking abysmal? That's on players, that is. I mean, De Ligt there with a terrible pass. They're stinking the place out. Absolutely. Cowards, mate. Absolute cowards. Spurs will be 2-0 up here. They're going to be I mean, I don't think Spurs can believe how much of the ball they're getting. We don't have a midfield. Bruno and Maino have disappeared, says Cheery. Honestly, Mark. Zuteng. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. It's got nothing to do with me. I don't pick the team. I bet a pint and it's not even noon, this team, says Ahmad. I once thought Ollie was at fault for Rashford's lack of development, but it's clear now that he'll stay a mediocre side as long as he has a shirt, says Tam. I wouldn't even put it on Rashford, mate. I just think there's so many bad performances out there at the moment. I can't believe this is the same Dalot that we've been talking about this week, why Real Madrid would want him. I can't believe how bad he has been. And he's not the only one. I just can't believe how crap we've been. Now, is it because Spurs are the best team in the world? Well, they're not. I can't see this getting any better if Ten Hag gets sacked, no matter who the next manager is. If we don't sort the players out, this will never improve, says Sam. Azur says, imagine getting cooked by Spurs without Son. Weird comment. Last time I checked, Spurs were never a one-man team. I think we should have got Jonathan David, says Snazzy. Put Dalot on the right. We played better that way, says Antonio. Has anyone seen Bruno, says Chiri. Philippe, welcome to the Members Club. Subs should be warming up, says Martin. I can't even see a draw at this point, and the draw will not be enough. I mean, I thought it would be a difficult game today. It's virtually impossible when you're playing like this. Bullied. It's men against boys. What? Why is Xerxes not fucking heading that ball? Fucking hell, mate. I know you're a new player, but fucking hell. Why are you not heading that ball? What is he doing there? Spurs nearly score. Fucking put your head on it. Get him off. Like, I want him to have a good future at the club. I'm not saying he's shit, but bloody hell. Call it what it is. Why is he not heading that ball there? Mazraoui gets booked. This is fucking terrible, mate. I can't believe it. You couldn't pick. Forget man of the match. Who's the shittest United player on this pitch? I don't think you could pick. You couldn't tell me. You couldn't tell me who the shittest United player was. They're all fucking rubbish. What were they doing last night? Check their fucking PSN accounts. I bet they're all fucking playing bloody FIFA till 3 o'clock in the morning. Xerxes, the definition of a slow poison, says Jeffrey. I never thought I'd miss Rasmus this year. Look, I think Xerxes can have a good future at Man United, but, you know, call a spade a spade. He's playing shit. I mean, look at Rashford here. Nate, I'm glad I haven't got the audio on because I can only imagine what that crowd are doing. I've seen it. I've seen this movie so many times. I remember being at Old Trafford for Crystal Palace Mourinho in the November, and it's like they're pissed. You know what? It's like they're all drunk. What a ball that is by Garnacho. Here's Xerxes. Come on, mate. Come on. Do something. He's got to go off at half-time. He's got to go off at half-time. I just don't see it getting any better. Bruno. Marcus is not staying up for this. He's going to bed. Severely lacking leaders here. No excuses, says Steve. Those is why no manager will succeed at United until the squad is overhauled, says Cyber Spider. You can't have this many poor performances in it beyond the manager. Poor team preparation, says Duncan. Playing shite. Worse than last year. Rasmus on half-time, says Mr. M. Ten Hag surely has got to make subs at half-time, says Dean. Might be the worst half I've seen, says Elliot. I completely agree. Corey says, worst half I've seen. Our players run towards them and then stop. No tackle attempts. Pretending, says Jake. I don't think you could make enough subs. I really don't. I genuinely don't know who to take off, because you could take off 5 and still keep 5 bags of shit on. Like, in a way, it's incredible. Go on, Garnacho. Cut it back. He's got to make that cross there. He's got to make that cross there. I mean, what's De Ligt doing here? That's a good ball by Bruno. Come on, Rashford. Show him something. Look for a pass. Look for a pass. Look for a pass. Yes. Put a ball in. Put it in. Garnacho. Oh, he's hit the post on the back post. Shit. It's a difficult... I tell you what, that's a difficult chance where it is. I'd have gone across the goal, to be honest, but, you know... I think he slips. I think his standing foot goes from him, doesn't it? You know, despite being utter shite, and despite the fact that Spurs have hit the post and could have been 2, we could have had 2. We could have had 2. Wear the damn shirt. We look like red traffic cones the way Spurs are passing through us. Change the tactics. What's the definition of insanity, says Jason. These players need to wake up. There's no excuse to play like this. Bring on fresh players in the second half, says Mohammed. We just don't have any intensity and buckle under pressure, says Mood. Just please sack him, says Oliver. If Erik Ten Hag starts subbing at the 70th minute, he's lost my respect, says HC. Everyone is playing crap, but let's abuse Xerxes. Go on. Garnacho, up against Van der Ven, needs a bit of help. Aye, mate. You see, it's the careless with the final ball. Good interception by Mainu. We've got to make that. And Agate is going to get booked, and it's going to be 2-0. Anana makes a great save. Agate's getting booked as well. Oh, no, still on. Fucking hell. Should have been 2-0 there. Great save by, well, massive save by Anana. I don't know if it was a great save, but it was a massive save. Mother of God. This setup doesn't suit one player who is on the pitch. Oh, for fuck. Delo, I tell you what, I've never seen him play this shit in my life. He's got to be wearing a mask. Fucking hell, mate. Has Delo had a worse game for Man United? Fucking hell. Give him a breath test. I played a game of football pissed once, and I played better than this. Bloody hell. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Watching Delo play at left back today, it's like watching a fucking kangaroo try to swim. Completely out of his depth. And horrible to watch. Literally drowning in front of us. Now, look, we haven't got a fucking left back. You know, you've got to say that, but bloody hell. Oh, I feel sick. I feel sick. I literally do feel so sick of this. I know there's people in our fan base that are loving it, going, I told you so, I told you so. I don't know how you can be thinking I told you so. If you genuinely care about the club, how can you be happily saying I told you so? How are you not in a turmoil? I'm absolutely fucking gutted. I've never... This is one of the worst performances I've seen in years. Because we've got good players inexplicably playing shite. You know, Mazraoui's been good for us so far. Rubbish. Dalot's been good for us this season. Rubbish. It's like they're doing it on purpose. You know, if somebody said there's a virus going around Man United and none of them feel very well, I'd agree. I'd believe it. They're slow to everything. They're losing every 50-50. They can't pass. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I don't know why Agate didn't get booked, by the way, because there was a foul in the build-up for the Werner chance. Maybe we'll get booked. They need to calm the fuck down. They're just, you know what? This is the pressure. He's getting booked there. Bruno, fucking idiot. Red. Oh my God! He couldn't get his card out quick enough there. I don't know whether it is a red, but Kavanagh couldn't get his card out quick enough. He was absolutely smiling as he got that out. He was smiling as he got that out. I don't know. I need to look at it again. But Kavanagh, is that his name? He was smiling. He was like, this is my Michael Oliver moment. But look, I haven't seen it. Nah, it's a red. It's a red. It's a red. And he knows it's a red. It's a red. Wow, then again he slips. He does slip. It's hard to tell. He's not going to get away with it. I think he slips. The foot's up. I think it probably is. I think he slips. I think he slips. That's game over. That is game over. I think it's game over in more than one. Oh, fucking hell. I'm not taking the fucking desk down. I don't think this could have got any worse if I wanted it to. I genuinely don't think it could get any worse. I'm just going to run a poll whether you thought it was a red. Look, I'm in no way am I saying definitely not a red, but I think the way he gets his card out so quick is just incredible. And he had a little smirk on his face as he did it. Mainoo's coming off. He might be injured. Clarence is turning on the PlayStation. Corey says he's done, Mark, and you know it. This is the game that will make or break Ten Hag and this squad, says David. I actually think Man United will never win a game under Ten Hag, says Barry. I'm going to wake up. It's a bad dream, says Ash. In Australia, and I have to get up at 1:30, says Brandon. I said yesterday on the City Watch Along that this was the ref from the Arsenal game when they got a red card there. What do you think about him? Says, I mean, Mainoo's gone off injured. He slipped. Is this career mode? They have nothing to do with coaching the players. We are waiting for the United in Crisis video, says Norbert. You've been blocked, mate. You can act the big man on a fucking live chat. Well done. We are losing this game 5-0. Never mind, says Mikhail. I don't know what you do from here. I really don't know what you do from here because this team is a bunch of fucking bottlers. They've got absolutely no chance. They're getting swarmed. I mean, Spurs could win this game by something really embarrassing now. Xerxes got to come off. He's a fucking... I don't know what he is, but he don't look, nothing like it. He's got to come off. Who got a yellow there? Brennan Johnson. You know what? Can I just say something in all the calmness here? I just want to go back to something that's got nothing to do with Man United, and I can't believe I've got this moment of clarity. But last week when Odegaard got the yellow card and got sent off for kicking the ball away, I'm throwing a United player under the bus, but he committed a foul. Spurs players wanted it. Agate had it, and he threw it 5 yards away. Never got booked. Just I saw it. No red tinted glasses, no favouritism, no bias. He threw the ball away, didn't get booked. Just saying. Eric Ten Hag, football doesn't suit the Prem, needs to go, says Yorel. Mate, whatever you think about Ten Hag, all I'm going to say is that I have never seen such a shower of shit performance from 11. Look, I know Bruno's been sent off, but I can't believe... You can blame the manager, you can blame Bruno, but, he was sent off a couple of minutes ago. We had 40 minutes. You, as a manager, you can pick the team, you can set the tactics out, and they can get exposed. But what you cannot do is account for this shit. And I have never seen... I don't think I ever saw this with Ollie or Mourinho. Maybe Ranić. Like, the absolute... shit. Can't pass. Can't win a 50-50. Just unbelievable, really. Absolutely unbelievable. I think you need to take a winger off. Bring Casemiro on and play a front two. I'd go 4-3-2. You can't just carry on with Mount and Agate. I mean, look at Xerxes. The poor lads. And then Rashford does that. David said the red card could be a blessing in disguise. Well, Bruno's out for 3 games, isn't he? I'm Dutch, but sack Ten Hag, says Willem. I'm so done. These players are a disgrace, says Druv. To me, it looks like Agate is the only one who is awake, says Ben. And I can't believe Mount's getting booked as well. I can't believe, and I'm so sad that I'm finally here, but Eric Ten Hag's got to go, says Noah. Eric Ten Hag can't make the players play well, but he can pick them, says Azor. For me, that's not a red card because he actually slips and he doesn't go studs up. It's the outside of his foot that clips him, says Marco. I see one of our fullbacks getting a red card. You know what? On the red card, I don't understand why it's a red. I know people are saying he's caught him with his studs, but he slips. It's a genuine attempt to win the ball and he slips. So I don't really I'm not saying it's not a red card. There's 2 things for me. One, the referee cannot know that's a red card as quick as he does. And he's smiling as he gets his fucking card out because he's a useless referee as per usual. I think it definitely should have been reviewed by VAR. And they just backed him on the pitch. But I don't understand. I don't know what the rules are because I thought red cards were for reckless behaviour or something like that. Well, it wasn't reckless. He goes to tackle him and slips. So for me, it's borderline. It's not as obvious as, oh, that's a red card. I mean, he's acting like Bruno's gone in 2-footed and there's no hesitation. I didn't see that at all. How many yellows are we at now, says Andrew. Well, we've definitely got our fullbacks booked. Come on, Mount. Into Garnacho, ain't never getting there ahead of Van der Ven. They just want it more. This is good. Lose this 3-0, but now we can't pick Bruno, says Simon Stone. Ineos out if they sack Ten Hag. You deserve this, says Jay. Watching this game on my flight right now, and it's saddening, says Paul. Player's been a disgrace, too easy to blame Ten Hag, says Yasha. You know what? I'm not moving away from the fact that losing this is going to make it very, very difficult for the manager. I don't know whether today will sack him, but it's very difficult to see a way back. But players disgrace. It's disgusting from the players for me. I'm absolutely disgusted by it. And yet, you know what? Despite everything, and look, Spurs probably could have had 3. We could have had 2. We could have had 2 goals. Xerxes should do better on 2 occasions, and he should have slipped Rashford in, and Garnacho hit the post. I mean, Delo has quite simply had the worst fucking game I've ever seen him play. I can't account for that. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that, because it's very hard to just throw it all on the manager, because the manager will take huge blame and everyone will be saying Ten Hag out. But I don't know whether how much of the Man United fan base has just stumbled into the United Football Club in the last week. I've been here with Ten Hag. I've been here with Ranić. I've been here with Ollie. I've been here with Mourinho. And there are still some of the same players here. Rashford, Bruno, Delo. You know, they've been there for those managers, haven't they? And, you know, all 3 of those players have played shit. They're not the only ones. I don't think anybody's played well. Mazraoui's been terrible. Xerxes been terrible. De Ligt's been terrible. You know, Agate's not been very good. Mainu wasn't very good. There's, you know, Bruno was shit before he got sent off. But I said this yesterday. We can talk about tactics and we can talk about all those things. But your players have got to turn up. If your players turn up and play badly, your tactics will be non-existent anyway. I'm absolutely appalled by the players today. And look, it probably will end up with the manager getting the sack, but how many more times are we going to sit there and go, oh, let's blame it on the manager. Let's blame it on the manager. These players will still be here. I don't trust these players. How many times am I going to tell you? I don't trust these players, and that is why. I've been saying this since Ollie got the job, and a month later we went to Goodison Park and got fucking hammered. And I said, I don't trust these players. And until they earn our trust, I won't trust them. And earning trust is being consistent for 3 or 4 months. They can't do it for 3 or 4 hours. They're not trustworthy. They are fucking bottlers. They are not good enough to play for Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs. They are mid players. They wouldn't get in a fucking Fulham team. They are mentally weak and mentally inconsistent players. We're paying some of them 300 grand a week and they look like they belong in the fucking National League. They can't string a pass together. And you'll get some Wally going, well, it's about the tactics, Mark. Mate, it's not about tactics, being able to tackle, win a 50-50, play a 5-yard pass. They're a bloody embarrassment. They're an embarrassment to this great football club. They're fucking awful. Awful. And we're giving some of them 200-300 grand a week. I mean, look, the first goal, apparently the Prime Minister of Football, Gary Neville, is blaming it on De Ligt and Agate. Well, how very convenient that is. Is it because they're not from the youth setup and they haven't got a British passport? How's about the guy who has us on the break and then bottles his own pass? Rashford's on the break and he just doesn't fancy it. Oh, I don't fancy Van der Ven. Well, look, nobody else fancies Van der Ven either. But look, it starts from our own fucking break. If Rashford follows that through, we might actually end up with a one-on-one ourselves. It's embarrassing. But that goal for Spurs, basically, in a whole... I mean, what does Van der Ven do? Wins the tackle from Rashford and runs 60 yards and crosses it for a tap-in. Nobody engages him. Nobody. And this happened on Wednesday night. Rashford again lets the right back go and he runs past 4 or 5 players and we end up conceding. I mean, as a manager, you must be going, what the fuck are you doing? I literally spoke to you about this on Wednesday. Put the fucking tackle in. We've conceded because Van der Ven's ran past 5 players. Ooh, when did that last happen? Wednesday. Absolute jokers. They've got the concentration of a fucking goldfish. What's more interesting than defending for Man United? Oh, is there someone on the side of the pitch doing a fucking lap dance? Put the fucking tackle in. Take the yellow card. Stop the goal going in. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I tell you what, we're down to 10 men. We're not coming back. It would have been miraculous with 11. I'll give Spurs the credit. I wouldn't have given as much chance of getting back in 11 against 11. 11 against 10, I'm thinking, can we keep this down to 3? Look, the Bruno red card, 50-50 in the chat. And on a Man United channel, that is very, 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 going to get red tinted glasses on it, of course. I go off my instincts, and I thought that the referee was very quick to get the yellow card out, and it was almost smiling about it. His face was almost like too quick, way too quick. He can't see that. He can't see what we see, and he's way too quick to get the red card out. I'm not saying it's not a red card, but what I am saying is he's very, very quick to get it out. And when you watch it back, I think if he'd given a yellow, it wouldn't get overturned to a red. And that's what pisses me off about it. I think the fact that he gives the red, VAR don't want to make him look stupid. But I think if he'd given the yellow, VAR would not have given a red. I think it was one of those. I think we've been a bit unlucky there that the referee's been so quick. In fairness to Spurs, I can understand why you'd say, well, it was a red. But I think it's one of those. It's like a penalty, isn't it? They're never going to overrule the referee because he's given the red. But he's given it way too quick. I think what happens is, look at this from Rashford. He's got to put the tackle in there. He wimps out. But Rashford wimps out of that. Fucking hell. Have you seen the goal that they score? He wimps out of the fucking tackle. Agate does need to take him out. To be fair, De Ligt's just not got the, De Ligt's not stopping. Rashford's got to follow through there. Coward. Absolute coward. And then Agate or Mazraoui have got to take Van der Ven out, but it's pure pace. I mean, he's at full sprint at that point. He's at full sprint. You're going to take a yellow card. You've got to take the yellow card there. For me, the red card, I think he slips and he tries to win the ball. It's as simple as that. But the referee cannot know that that's a red card. And the definition of a red card is reckless and out of control. He's not reckless and out of control. He slips. He actually slips. I want to see it again. Here it is. He slips. I can see it, but I think the referee is way, way, way too quick. It's a yellow card. I think it's a yellow card for me. I don't think that's a red. I really, really don't. I agree with the not trusting the players like Rashford, says Harry. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're very close to 940,000. If we can get something positive out of today, please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We've got player ratings coming up in the match reaction straight afterwards. Look, I'm looking at this Bruno one again. There's nothing about that is dangerous and out of control and intentful. It's just bad luck. And I don't think Maddison's massively hurt either. Players look like they want Ten Hag out, says Jack. I'm never giving my opinion on another team ever again. Can't rely on this team, says Delusional Unicorn. Bruno is a prat, says Johnny. It's like a League 2 team playing a Premier League side, says Jezza. We need a player with Eriksen's IQ with Garnacho's legs, says Jeet. At least now we can see how we play without Bruno, says Pure Turnip. Yeah, with 10 men. I agree with not trusting players like Rashford, Bruno, Delot from other managers. I'm baffled that Ten Hag's signing showing the same lack of morale, says Harahan. Yeah, you're right. You can't just throw it at Bruno or Rashford. You've got to say that Mazraoui's been terrible. De Ligt's not been much better. I can't. If we had 11 men and I was trying to get back into the game, I don't know what subs I'd make. I genuinely don't know. We haven't got any fullbacks. The two of our worst players are our fullbacks, and they're both on yellow cards. We haven't got any fullbacks because we didn't buy a fucking left back, did we? No, we won't buy a left back. It won't matter. I'll blame Luke Shaw. Fucking playing for England. Ten Hag is too busy admiring Spurs, says Stevie. Two things can be true. Manager isn't the right guy and the loads of players aren't good enough. I think you're spot on, Stuart. Say whatever you want to say, but Bruno was nowhere to be seen until that red card and he's killing us, says Simp. There is no world-class player, no leaders, says Shatter. He slips during the tackle. There's no intention, says Dariel. No one's got any composure, says Sanjif. Also, a bad pass from Bruno to Garnacho that led to the loose ball that Rashford bottled challenging, says McElvis. Dalot just hasn't fancied it, says Tyler. I mean, who would be your worst player for Man United on the pitch for that half? I mean, I hate to say it because I like the player, but for me, I think Dalot. I mean, as I said, I had a game pre-season when I was about 17 and it was a sunny day and we were kicking off at 5 o'clock and I went down the pub. I had the day off work. I went down the pub. I thought I'll only have a pint. I had 3. Went and played football. Oh my God. I ended up in a hedge trying to tackle probably a hedge. Dalot reminds me of that. It's just, it's almost sabotage of his own career. I've never seen such a terrible performance. We can't bring Maguire on. He's not on the bench, mate. You wanted Ten Hag to have the balls to sub Bruno off. If he didn't listen, at least the ref did, says Faison. Does referee undergo psychiatric evaluation, says Franklin. The beginning of the end, says Rory C. His sacking is now inevitable. I think you might be right. No passion from captain to fans. They don't care, says Adam. And Chin says, agree, Mark. Yes, Ten Hag is all over the place, but these players are a disgrace. And the reality is, if we get rid of Ten Hag, then who? No top manager will come near this mess, says Chin. Liverpool winning mentality seems to transcend managers. We're the opposite, says Zero Connection. I think the Liverpool thing is absolutely fantastic, actually, because Arne Slot comes into a team and, you know, it works straight away. And everybody has the audacity to say, oh, what an amazing coach Arne Slot is, and completely misses the point. Arne Slot's a good coach, but those players that were left by Klopp have an amazing mentality to win and an amazing cohesion to succeed. And Manchester United players, they don't change. You know, you can give Liverpool players a new manager and they'll pick it up and run with it because the manager is good, but also because they are good. At Man United, we keep changing the manager and everyone thinks it's going to be fine. I mean, the Ten Hag out brigade, you're about to probably get what you want. But if you think when we get the next manager, I'm just going to go, yay, let's give everyone a new chat. I tell you what, if we sack Ten Hag and we go with another manager, I ain't fucking standing there again. I've done it 4 times now. I'm not doing it this time. I'm not going to go, oh, let's give everybody another fucking chance. I'm going to shout out, I'm going to go, Marcus Rashford, 4 sacked managers. Bruno Fernandes, 3 sacked managers. I'm going to go through the fucking list of the players that keep surviving every manager getting sacked. And I'm not saying those managers don't deserve to get sacked, but how many fucking more times are we going to go on this hamster wheel of trusting these fucking... I don't trust these players. It's as simple as that. You can change the bloody curtains. It's still the same bedroom. It's still the same house. I do not trust these players. And that is absolutely shit today. And tactically it has been shit. But beyond all of that, nobody can give me a Man United player that's put even an average performance in. Who had a good half? Garnacho was trying, Agate was trying, Martinez was trying, but you wouldn't give them an average 6. Nobody has had a good half of football. So, you know, you can talk about changing the manager, but how are you going to change those performances? You're not going to do it. You are not going to change those performances because they are absolutely untrustworthy and they're not good enough. Simple as that. They're just not good enough. And that's not going to change. That is not going to change, is it? I would challenge anybody to tell me that it is. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're watching. Give us a follow on TikTok if you are watching as well. What happens in the second half, Mark? Fucking hell, mate. Oh, I mean, I don't know. Go, the shop shut. I mean, things to do in the second half. Look, I've got to do this. As United fans, it's hard not to do this. But if you're not a United fan, well, maybe you're enjoying it. Yeah, this ain't getting any better in the second half. There ain't no miracle of Old Trafford. This is a case of how many they score. And I also think that we could end up with 9 men because they've played. I mean, look, this ain't the Spurs channel. Spurs have been fantastic. Fantastic. From minute 1, fantastic. I mean, how Marcus Rashford's telling Agate what to do here. Fuck it, the cheek of it. The fucking cheek of it to try to be a fucking leader. About 3 years too late, mate. can't be doing with these players anymore. The sympathy is gone. I cannot be making... I've never seen such shit in all my life. I'm fucking fuming with them. I don't care about Ineos. I don't care about Ed Woodward. I don't care about the Glazers. I don't care about Ten Hag. I'm not talking about those. They are relevant conversation points. But right here, right now, that 45 minutes is an absolute disgrace. I've played football. You've played football. You know when you go on that pitch, you've got a personal responsibility to do something. And it cannot be, let's just throw it at the manager. Let's just throw it at Ineos. They've been a fucking disgrace to the shirt in that first 45 minutes. And if you don't think that, I don't know. Well, Casemiro's come on. It's got to be for Xerxes. Yeah. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Get an extra midfielder in and just use Rashford and Garnacho on the break. I actually agree with that substitution. You can't keep a front three on when you haven't got a midfield three. My Football Manager, United can beat this United, says Mud. You've always backed Ten Hag from the start, says Neddy. I want you to be more consistent, please. Embarrassing from you to switch up on him week in, week out. I don't. I'm not going to read all the super chats. I always do it out of politeness because people make a contribution, but sometimes it's just a free hit for an idiot. At what point have I not... Can somebody tell me when I've said Ten Hag out? I was very late with Jose. I was very late with Ollie, and I haven't said Ten Hag out either, so... Mark, I am Ten Hag in, but about 7 of those players are his own signings, says Maura. It should have been Rashford to sacrifice, says Rub. Well, it won't be Rashford, will it? It won't be Marcus Rashford. He can't be taken off. Let's hope he can do something in the second half. Nearly 100k. Love to see United fail, says Shea. It should. Mark, I am Ten Hag in. Done that one. Ball over the top is what we're going to have to look at. People saying it's Ten Hag signings. It's Ineos signings as well, says John. A bunch of strangers playing with each other. So many questions, no answers, no respect, says John. Marcus says it was a red card. Sick of Bruno. Manager judgment on Bruno shocking. Yeah, but I'm not listening to you, John, because I think there's a lot of people that don't like Bruno that are just going to have a pop at Bruno. Whereas I think if that was a player that you liked who slipped, you would be more willing to have the conversation that it was a little bit rash. But the referee, for me, has made a very quick decision on something that he probably should have looked at the TV screen at. If he'd looked at the TV screen and given a red, I'd respect him. But to give the reds when somebody slips, I think is massively unfair. I think he's got to have a look at it. Why do you think the players have been mediocre, says Vinny? Because they can't be trusted. I mean, look at this again. Martinez missing a tackle. We've only had a minute. Well done, Delit. 2-0. Oh, God. I don't know what to say. What do you want me to say? Fucking hate this game. Fucking hate it. I hate this game. I just hate it. I fucking hate football. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate feeling so fucking powerless all the time. I hate feeling so sad all the time. I hate feeling so fucking frustrated. How is it that every Man United fan knows what it means to play for Man United and these absolute shithouses don't? They do not represent me. They don't represent this fan base. They are a fucking bunch of pricks. They are so bad at football. Their mentality is so fucking weak. They don't care. If Ineos do not figure this out, I think Onana should save that as well. It's right next to his fucking hand. There's not much power on it. How's he not making that save? It's right above your hand. It's like a fucking FIFA goal. Get your fucking hands. Oh my God. How has he not saved that? It's right on his hand. Oh my God. How is he not saving that? I thought it was a good finish. Oh my God. You may as well put a fucking lamppost in goal and stick some cardboard arms on it. And it's, you know what it is again? It's a goal again in the first 2 minutes of the half. Oh, look, I tell you what. Give the job to the Twitter experts. They seem to, they told us so. They told us so. Give them the job. Give them the job. and tell us what we're meant to do next. They're the experts. Meet the experts. Get this bold fraud out. All the abuse, all the toxicity. You tell us what we're doing next. Because I'll tell you what, good luck. Good luck if you think this is all on the manager. That's all I'm going to say. By all means, sack him. But fucking hell, the problems run deep at this football club. They run very, very deep. Oh, God. We've got 40 minutes of this. 40 minutes. What can I do to cheer myself up? Fucking hell. The thing is though. The thing is. The thing is, when you're 1-0 down at half time with 10 men, look at Arsenal last week. What will have Arteta? I know they were winning at the time, but Arteta would say, let's keep it tight for the first 10 minutes. Let's not, do anything stupid in the first few minutes, because if we need to do something stupid, we'll do it in the last 5 minutes to try and get something. First 10 minutes, keep it tight, don't concede. What do? I thought you said first 10 minutes be open, wide open spaces and lube yourself up, gaffer. Just... Where's Rashford again? We need Roy Keane, player motivator, says Lord. Who's your FPL captain? I'm giving up on football. I'm quitting. This is my swan song. I'm getting out before it gets worse. Casemiro was shocking. Shouldn't play again, says Jose. Club rotten to the core, says Cranky. They're singing the say Spurs go marching in. I'm glad I haven't got the noise on for Aura. I really, really am. Mate. Beer on me, Marks, is reckless. I wasn't gonna have a drink tonight. Get me in a pub, let's get pissed. Eric Ten Hag getting sacked in the morning, says United won. Maybe. Absolute Ponce, says the lot of them. Disgraceful performance, even before the red card, they were better, says Omega. Classic Goldbridge, says Non. Mate, trust me. I don't feel good. Give Mark the job, he has all the answers, says Hanson. Mate, shut up. Shut up your face. I don't have the answers. I literally just said, give it to the Twitter experts. I don't have the answers. Mate, I'd like to give you that positive. I'd like to give you that. I'd like to say I have got the answers. I would. But I can't solve this. We're past that. We've been doing this for 10 years. 10 years we've been doing this. If you think you've got the answer, you're lying to yourself. I said this at the start of the summer. We might not have hit the bottom of the barrel. I hope we have. I hope Ineos are going to change things. I said we might not have hit the bottom of the barrel because some problems can't be solved. People talk like we're going to win the league. We'll win the league in the next 5 years. Some problems can't be solved. We are a club in massive debt. We are about to embark on the rebuilding of a massive stadium. And we're doing this all on a platform of shite. I don't know how you solve this. What I do know is you're going to get a lot of people screaming and shouting, saying, sack Ten Hag, sack Ten Hag. Do it. I don't really care. I don't know the guy. Maybe it's the right thing to do. Maybe it's the wrong thing to do. I don't know. I think sacking Mourinho was a mistake because I thought it was the right thing to do at the time. But then as time went on, you realised it was player power. So I personally don't think sacking the manager makes any bit of difference when you've got this many problem players in the team. I really don't. Can the game just end now? This is abhorrent, says Nigel. Sacked in the morning. He'll be gone 8 p.m, says Scottish. I'd rather watch the last 15 minutes of Country Files, says Spin. It's post-Fergie United, says MC. Genuinely, this has taken a toll on my health, says Shiam. It really seems like Onana purposely does not save some of these goals. I'm sure I'm wrong, but... Oh, yeah, but you know what, mate? Colin, I did that video a couple of weeks ago. telling you the problem with Onana and the fact that his shot stopping is just not that good. And you know what? Martinez is getting booked. Is James Maddison the new Jack Grealish? I mean, he doesn't half know how to milk a foul, does he? He protects himself. He didn't touch him. It was a foul, but he didn't hurt him. Look, I did a video on Onana and I got pelters for it. I'm not changing my mind. You know what? You know when I do a video like that that's analytical, I'm not changing my mind. I don't do it on the cheap. I don't think today I'm going to make something up. The guy is a crap shot stopper. He is hopefully going to be a good ball-playing goalkeeper, but when it comes to shot stopping, he's crap. He's absolutely crap. He should have saved some of the goals against Liverpool. He should have saved that one. He's a crap shot stopper. It's as simple as that. But look, Onana's not the problem today. But, you know, we've had goalkeepers like Schmeichel, Van der Sar and De Gea who save your goals. They save your games because they save your goals. He doesn't save your games. He doesn't. Thoughts on Rashford, says Ryan. Well, he's back, isn't he? Rashford's back. You know, when the going gets tough in a big game like this, surely this is where we're going to see the real Rashford. What did he do? Bottle a 50-50 against Van der Ven and the stage was set. You know, I flip it around and I look at the likes of Roy Keane and I think, you know what? Oh my God, Kulusevski, if this is 3-0. Oh, Nana's made a good save there. Well done. I look at this sort of game and I think, you know what? Let's go back in time. Let's be Michael J. Fox. Can I go back to the first minute of this game? Can I take Marcus Rashford aside and say, you're going to have a 50-50 with Van der Ven. You've got to win it. You've got to win that and we'll win the game. And I think if Rashford goes into that tackle with Van der Ven and wins the tackle, the whole game might change. The crowd might get up because he's just took out their centre-back. But those little moments, when you've watched football long enough, you know that those moments are key. And if Rashford tackles Van der Ven and wins the tackle, it's in the first 2 minutes. And the crowd go, look at Rashford, he's up for it. He's just took out Van der Ven. But he doesn't. He bottles it. And they go and score and everyone goes, oh, fucking hell, here we go again. And those moments are massive. They're absolutely massive. And we haven't got enough players that want to put that tackle in, unfortunately. Who's the problem players then, says Jason. Mate, who's not a problem today? Onana was always bad, mate. It was just masked by good teams and defences, Ajax and Inter, and a very defensive league, says Tim. Players don't care, says Thomas. Can we get Diego Costa in January and play Binder as well, says Michael. I know you like the manager, but the league form and Europa form is awful. He's got in players. Mate, Sean, I'll make it very simple for you because I respect you. You can't. How many games have we played in the league? Is this game 6? 3 losses, a draw and 2 wins. You can't have that. You can't have that. Now, whether they'll sack him tomorrow, I don't know. Do I think he's going to get sacked? Well, yes. Do I want it to happen? No, I don't actually think it's going to make any big difference. But you know what? What I will say is, I'm always going to support the club, and I'm always going to want it to do well. But the positivity of the last 2 years, forget it. Forget it. You're going to get a very different Goldbridge after this if we sack Ten Hag. Because I've really put a lot of effort into this. I've really believed in it. I've really tried to, you know, get behind it, be positive, give players that I don't really trust a chance. If we sack another manager, you're going to get a very different approach to this from now on. I'm not putting myself through it again. I'm not believing in certain players again. I'm going to say, sorry, I'll celebrate the goal. Thank you very much. But I don't fucking trust them to get us where we need to be. I'm tired of it. It's better for your health, to be honest. And I just feel like it's been nice to win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. But, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. And there are certain players I just don't fucking trust. You know, and it's actually not the players that you think. It is, but it's more than that. You know, I'm disgusted with some of them today, again. Luke Robson, welcome to the Members Club. Gareth says, issues with the club is that they don't have a backbone. They should all watch the Beckham documentary and understand what hard work looks like, says Gareth. The issues lies with the players, not Ten Hag, who will coach them to execute basic fundamentals. For instance, having a centre-back making runs into the opposition box without making any tackles, says Devash. Captain Maguire's red card sacked Ollie. Now Bruno's turn to continue the tradition, says Hatan. We need to give him time. He's won 2 cups, says Distressed Wrangler Jeans. But you know what? When you're giving him time, do you genuinely think that... you know what? If you give Ten Hag time, have you seen anything today that these players are going to respond to that time? That's the problem. You know, I'm almost in agreement. You know, you give him time. Martinez should score. Martinez should score there. Your credibility is... What's this? Yeah, Dan, you're not a Man United fan. You can have one of those. You can have one of those. I've told you I don't need to read them out. I'm not reading stuff out where you're basically being abusive. So, Dan, have one and have another one. Officially, enter Eric Ten Hag out. This is decent squad, says Bashir. Yeah, but Bashir, what are you... You know what? My question to you is... That's not a handball, Romero. That's not a handball. If we was to sack him, who would you bring in, says Luke. No, look. I want to answer Bashir's point. Yeah, we've got a good squad and the manager's not getting the best out of them. They're not robots, mate. You don't program them with a code and then if you get the code wrong, it's your fault. They're human beings. What has Ten Hag done to make Delot shit out his whole career on the pitch? Like, what has Ten Hag done to Delot today to make Delot go, I'm going to put in the shittest performance I've ever put in? That's my problem today. The fact, hey Mark, we can score against the low block. Ship is rotten to the core. Thank you, Tim. We've read yours as well. Thanks for your super chats, by the way. Let's get to the normal chats. How was that not a penalty? I don't think it was. I don't think it was a penalty because I don't understand what isn't a penalty. So I'm just going to say it wasn't. We've got to a point now where we don't know what is a penalty and what isn't. JPL, welcome to the Members Club. Rude was a decent manager at Feyenoord, says Marco. PSV. Nicholas, welcome to the Members Club. How will the players respond in the coming weeks? Are they still willing to fight for him? I hope they do, says Rossi. Casemiro heads it wide. Goal kick. Let's be real, there isn't an alternative than giving Ten Hag till the end of the season. If they sacked him, the summer was for nothing, says BND. I honestly thought, well, you know what? We may as well have that conversation. I don't know what they'll do. I was actually in Manchester the morning they sacked Mourinho. I was going for a meeting in central Manchester, and I went into a coffee shop. And I just got a coffee and I sat down and it was like 10 o'clock. And I went on my phone and Simon Stone tweeted, Mourinho's been sacked. I was quite surprised. So when you think back to it, Mourinho, there was a lot of talk about him being sacked and then he was sacked. So you never know. You never know. He could, you know, we could wake up tomorrow at 10 o'clock with a 10 o'clock drop. He's been sacked. I don't know. I would... I would say they won't do it because it seems a little bit too soon, but we're certainly on the road to it, aren't we? We're on the road to it, and if you're on the road to it, sometimes you just do it, don't you? Only they will know the sheer volume of problem. Amazing it's taken 60 minutes for them to show up a bit, says Ashley. Well, yeah, I've seen that. Why did Mainu go off? I think he was injured, wasn't he? I think Mainu went straight down the tunnel. If they hire Southgate, I'll throw up for life, says Tom. If they hire Southgate, you will see toxic bridge. Seems to do other people quite well. Don't slide in. Is he sending Agate off? Or is that his first yellow? Yellow card for a shoulder barge. No. It was a bit more than a shoulder barge, to be fair. If we go near Southgate, I'm Southgate out from minute 1. I won't put up with that. Will be more booze than a brewery after this, says James. I stopped expecting anything from this club. Wins like the FA Cup are just a pleasant surprise. Better for the mental health. That was... Jack O'Connor says, this is just miserable. Finding it harder and harder to mentally involve myself anymore, says Jack. Yeah, you know, honestly, as soon as they scored in the first set, you know, I know you all agree, but you don't want to say it publicly, but as soon as they scored after 2 minutes, I knew we weren't going to win. And we needed to win today. But I just know. These players, when they go behind in a big game, shit themselves. Then they're not Man United players. They're too mentally weak. We're in a vicious cycle of sacking the manager, then rebuild. I don't have another manager in for me. Another cycle, especially Southgate, says Hayden. Van Nistelrooy could do the job, says D1. I think that would be the logical thing to do. I was hoping in the second half there'd be a chance to get back in the game, but it's just about damage limitation, says Vishan. Yeah, we have got 10 men, mate. You can't get back into the game with 10 men. Big J says, if we sack Ten Hag, which big manager would actually take the job? The challenge is not for the weak. Could be Big Ange want the challenge, says Big J. I think the problem is that every manager that comes into Manchester United gets told you've got to work with Bruno, you've got to work with Rashford, you can't sell Maguire, you can't sell Lindelof, and that's always going to be the problem. Pep Guardiola's never had that. Jurgen Klopp didn't have that. Mikel Arteta didn't have that. If we brought a good manager in, they must be allowed to get rid of certain players. But Man United never do that. They always bring a manager in and then say, we'll bring you in, but you've got to use these players. You've got to use these players. And that makes it difficult. Dominic says, I stopped expecting anything from the club. Wins like the FA Cup are just a pleasure. Mohammed says the performance has been embarrassing. Marco says if he's sacked, it's either Rude or Southgate. Tune in for the fan forum, by the way. I think Ricky is going to be box office tonight. Doesn't like Bruno. Yeah, I'll be watching. I'll definitely be watching. After my match reaction, we've got the fan forum. It'll be good. It'll be good. Let's say we sack Ten Hag. If people expecting a manager to instill a desire to win to pro players, then save your energy. Managers don't build character. People need to look at the players more often, says Hamza. Stuart Wallace says, Mark, you represent the majority of United fans. Just want to thank you for taking the arrows from fake fans and speaking the truth about this crap, says Stuart. Ship is too rotten, says Quinton. Look, I think where we are at the moment, there is always the temptation to overreact. I'm genuinely just frustrated and tired and sad. But I can't say I'm surprised. You know, if I'm sat here screaming and shouting, then where have I been for 10 years? Like, we've been here. We've seen this. I've seen Spurs beat Ollie by 6. You know, we've seen Liverpool. Oh, unlucky from Casemiro. We've seen this so many times, and it is a cycle. And all I'm saying is, look, we probably will sack the manager. it's probably going to happen. But is that the problem at Man United? Well, it's a problem. Definitely a problem. But I'm not going to insult myself, and I'm not going to insult many of you by saying that that's the answer, because it's just not. Was it the answer when we sacked Moyes? Was it the answer when we sacked Van Gaal? Was it the answer when we sacked Jose? Was it the answer when we sacked Ollie? Was it the answer when we got rid of Rangnick? And will it be the answer when we get rid of Ten Hag? It won't be the answer, is what I'm saying. Do it. It might be the right thing to do, but it won't be the answer. So don't ask me to get excited about the answer. I was excited when Mourinho got sacked. I genuinely thought that getting rid of Mourinho, I genuinely believed that we could do something. I was very excited when we got rid of Van Gaal because I genuinely thought Mourinho was available. This is what we need to do. Don't ask me to be excited about sacking another manager because I just genuinely don't think it will make any difference. I will still be watching Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford and co running around in a Man United shirt, putting in sporadic worldies, but consistently not being a Man United player. And my biggest disappointment today is, I would argue that I don't want to say this, but I actually feel sorry for Sir Jim Radcliffe. And I suppose Ten Hag to a certain extent, because I just can't believe how badly we approached this game as 11 players. Like, the attitude was honking, absolutely honking. And I'm sorry, I will openly have the conversation about the manager going, and I think, you know, we've got to have that. It's a mature and honest conversation, but I will not pin it all on the manager because I've been here before, I've seen this movie before, and you know, it's taken us 60 minutes with 10 men to start playing anywhere decent. You can't do that. You can't give people a head start and a red card. Werner, I tell you what, Timo Werner has absolutely rinsed Mazraoui. That's worried me. Because I think he's looked like a really good signing. And then today, Proteus, I'm not reading your chat because you keep saying the same thing and I didn't read it the first time because you're not listening. My least favourite commentator as well, says Top Hat Man. I don't know who's commentating. The fact that, not reading you, Lewis says 4 out of the next 5 games are away from home. Hard to see him surviving. I think what they'll probably do is wait till the international break. Yeah. I think that's what they'll probably do, Lewis, because it just gives them some time. Sincerely, lads, please take care of your mental health. The pressure to succeed for Klopp last year significantly contributed to my anxiety, says Law Officers. Rashford goes off for Rasmus. Are there any substitutions you're considering? Seems unfair to sub on specific players in a lost game, says Bloodclot. Well, I think it's a good idea to get Rasmus on because we've got Porto on Thursday and, you know, get some minutes in legs. Jordan says, well, you know, Bruno... Oh, look at that. Ericsson comes on, doesn't beat the first man with a corner. Fucking hell. He's been doing that since Spurs. God, at least this second half's gone quite quickly. I thought it... You know, when they scored again, I thought it was going to be like 6. We are stuck. No one wants Rashford. Bruno just signed a new contract, says Billy. Should have started Ericsson, says JPL. For who? Did you not watch the first 10 minutes, mate? They dominated us. I mean, Ericsson's not going to win the ball back, is he? Maguire, Lindelof, McTominay, Wan-Bissaka are not playing and the chat is still blaming the players, says Sven. I don't think anyone's mentioned any of those 4 players, actually, Sven, but there you go. It's the manager's job to build the team around those to phase out. No, you're wrong, mate. You're wrong. There's players that we've been trying to phase out since... What was it Jose said? There's 3 players at that club I tried to get rid of that are still there. That's 7 years ago. You can't phase players out that the club won't sell. Let's hypothetically say Van Nistelrooy is the best coach in the world. Do you honestly think he could win the title? No. No. You could give Pep Guardiola this squad and he won't win the league. Thanks everyone who's been watching, by the way. Make sure you give us a follow if you're on TikTok, and please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, we've got player ratings, match reaction, and fan forum to come up. Jesus Christ. Spurs on the attack. Good block by De Ligt, but they're queuing up. Mason Mount. Well, you know what? If Mason Mount can stay fit, at least he's going to get a bit of game time. One way or another. No matter who the manager is. It is difficult to rebuild Man United on the Football Manager. How impossible it must be to rebuild for Ineos, says Stephen. Until today I was Ten Hag in, but now I'm not, says Ryan. Bruno is a terrible captain and is to blame, says Sam. I think the game was gone before the red card, mate. I don't. You know what? I don't think there's a United fan out there that's going to say that the red card cost us the game. No. You know what cost us the game? 11 players not turning up at Old Trafford when 75,000 fans did. That's what cost us the game. The attitude and approach from those players, for some reason, was nowhere near the level it needed to be. And the red card, let's not disrespect Spurs. Spurs were fantastic from the B of the bang. I mean, you know, Timo Werner gets a lot of stick. He's probably been one of Spurs' best players. He's absolutely rinsed arguably our best player this season in Mazraoui. Maddison's been fantastic as well. They haven't played with Son. Adogi went off injured. Their effort levels and work has been incredible. You know, Spurs get the piss taken out of them a lot, but their approach to this game from the first second was absolutely spot on, and it was exemplified by Van der Ven, who at Old Trafford went and won a 50-50 when we were on the break, and then, you know, set the standard. Oh my God. I mean, that's just shit. That is shit. What are these defenders doing? Watching fucking porn? Like, what are they doing here? They win the front post flick on and then a tap in for Solanke. It's absolutely embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. They are fucking useless. They couldn't mark a piece of paper with shitty hands. They are so fucking bad today. You can't, you know, are you going to put that on the set piece coach? Or are you can be there as a set piece coach and say, do this, do this, do this. They missed the front post flick on and then they're not matching Solanke. Like, Casemiro gets beat. And Casemiro here, weak. I don't know. I don't even know who was meant to be marking Solanke because he wasn't marked in the first place. He was just unmarked. He was never marked. That's shit from Casemiro. That is fucking shit. Would you blame Onana, Mark? I don't know with Onana now because I don't know what a decent goalkeeper actually does from a cross. I mean, should he be further out? Should he be? I don't know. I don't know whether I blame him there. Ewan says, yes, the red was awful, but we were awful before. No excuse. I'm not using the red card. I'm not using the red card. I don't think there's a respectable Man United fan out there that's going to use the red card. All I'm going to say is Spurs have played fantastically well. And United just never turned up. And 11 against 11 or 10 against 11, we were going to get beat. Because in the Premier... I tell you what, I would say this as well. Fair play to Spurs. They've played really, really well. I don't think there's many teams in the Premier League that wouldn't have beaten us today. It's not about Spurs. You don't turn up in a game like this and play like that, like we did in the first half an hour. You know, whether it's Southampton, Ipswich, Fulham, they'd all win. You can't... take me back. Take yourself back to the first half an hour. How many passes did we misplace? How many tackles did we miss? I mean, I don't want to do the player ratings because I want Xerxes to have a good future at United. But that kid's confidence, I would urge everyone to give him a 9. Because if you give him a truth, that's, yeah, I don't know. Daryl says, should we be worried about relegation? Daryl, shut up. Come on. That's too far. Too far. Anana, Bruno and Rashford need to be sold. That's starting afresh, says Asset. Look, here we go. Could be 4. Good tackle, Mazraoui. If you want a criticism of Eric Ten Hag, which apparently I don't do you want me to give you a criticism? I've given it before. I've given it loads of times. But if you want a criticism of Ten Hag, Anana for De Gea will always be, and I said it at the time, and I'll say it again, Anana for De Gea is one of the stupidest things this football club has done in Premier League history. I don't understand it. I didn't understand it at the time. We treated him like shit. He was a club great. He was a loyal servant. He went on holiday with a contract offer and on holiday got told it wasn't there anymore. Didn't even do it to his face. And then for the last 2 years without De Gea, we've put somebody in goal who couldn't save a Word document. That's my opinion. And that was on Eric Ten Hag. So, look, I'm not saying if we'd kept De Gea, we wouldn't be where we are, but it's... who's gone down here? No, not Mount. Head injury. Mike says, you called it on the podcast. Spurs were due to give someone a battering. I said it in the preview, mate. Said it in the preview. This season, Spurs are either second or first for shots, corners, take-ons, touches in the box, goals conceded, shots conceded. They were a hidden gem, Spurs. And also, I watched Spurs against Leicester. They should have won 4-1. I watched them against Newcastle, and they drew. I watched them against Newcastle. They should have won, and they lost. Arsenal did a good job on them. I think Spurs will have a good season. Connor says, I don't even see a short-term fix. This is absolutely brilliant, says I'm Nars. Why the fuck did we buy Mount, says Alejandro. This overpaid shit deserved to be relegated, says Ryan. Is it time for a new voice, Mark? Cheers. United always, dark times and the future beyond. You called it on the podcast. The only thing that might save Ten Hag is that there is no manager out there, says Kyle. Your premonition was right, Mark. Eric Ten Hag alone in the rain, battered and still bold. Oh my God. Don't go and find these clips. I can't deal with it. Sonder. Regardless of the red card, it's the captain's job to motivate the team, and we didn't see that from the first minute. Bruno does not have the mentality, says Sam. Sky and TalkSport will have a field day. Yeah, but who's listening, mate? Why would you listen to people that are just, they hate Man United? They're doing it to cause trouble. Keep it in-house. That's what we should do. Daniel Weller says, you can see a 3-0 win, a 3-0 loss with Eric Ten Hag in the rain. Oh, God. When did I say that? Because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I can't remember saying it. Mark, I've always been Ten Hag in, never overreacted, but I'd consider sacking him, says Jamie. Mate, I don't think you'd be the only one. Won't be surprised if these useless prats get us fighting relegation, says Big Steve. These players do nothing but disappoint, says Xander. Why do you think fans can see the problem, but every manager we have can't and make the same mistakes, says Vinny? I think that's a great point. I think that is a great point. Lindelof's coming on. United's next game is Villa away. You know what? It's always good in life to try and have a bit of banter. If I was Eric Ten Hag, I would say to Sir Jim, if you're going to sack me in the international break, can you sack me now? Because they ain't going to try against Villa, and Villa are a good side, and I don't really want to get battered twice before I go. So, can you sack me tomorrow and then let the new guy have the Villa game? Because we're going to get absolutely destroyed by Villa. in a week. Like, let's see, you know, we are going to get absolutely battered by Villa. There's no two ways about it. So, Eric, I'll always be grateful for what you did. You won 2 trophies in a row. Not many people have done that, but I'd try and get out tomorrow because it ain't looking good, Brev, long term. Ten Hag, Graham Potter or McKenna. This is Marcus. I mean, yeah, this is a major upgrade, isn't it? Would you take Tuchel, says Joe? I can't stand Tuchel. I think he's the wrong guy. I'd give him a chance, but I don't think he's the right guy. These players have sucked the amount of support I've given to this club for decades, and it all started with the bloody Glazers, says Mario Franco. Ten Hag can't motivate players to run through walls. Mark, I don't know how old you are. I don't know how much life experience you've got. But no individual can make people who don't want it, inconsistent people, run through brick walls every game. If they did, if they could, then every player at Preston would be playing for Man City. You know, you wouldn't need to spend £100 million on a player. You can't make any, it's not on a, you know, there are good managers, but I think people get management mixed up. A good manager doesn't take a shit Preston player and turn them into Cristiano Ronaldo. The talent has to be there. The work ethic has to be there. And if you haven't got it, you can't produce it. You can't give Pep Guardiola Preston North End and let him turn, and in 2 seasons you'll get promoted and win the Premier League. Like, you have to have it in you. If you haven't got it, you'll never have it. And the problem with United is some of these players haven't got it. They haven't got that mentality to run through brick walls twice a week. They'll do it once a month, but they won't do it twice a week. So whoever the next manager is, don't expect them to come in and get these players to win the league. They might have a bounce. We've seen a bounce before. New manager, let's make it, you know, I guarantee that'll happen. New manager, everyone will try hard for 2 months. And then they'll be like, oh, I've tried hard enough now. I'm going to go back to normal. We've seen that happen. His own players aren't playing for him. 8 out of the starting 11 are his signings. I'm sorry, says Victor. Don't worry, I'm alive and coming back soon, says Tyrrell Malasia. Well, the ground's nearly empty. Garnacho up against his countryman, Romero. Ericsson. Oh, Rasmus nearly gets in on the back post. It would have been a good move from back to front there. You know what? It's painful. When I set up the match reaction, I always predict the score. I had Man United 1-1. Another depressing week. Another week in the trenches. Love will tear us apart again. Love will tear us apart again. Thanks everyone. I'm slowly losing my mind in front of you here. When I sang "The Sun Isn't Going to Shine Anymore," it was a bit of a mocking of the fact that Son wasn't playing. The sun ain't going to shine anymore for Man United, is it? Do you take anything from the positives of the last 20 minutes? No, because the game's gone. It's very. I don't know whether you've ever played football when you know the game, you're playing against 10 men and you're 2-0 up. You know you've won it. You don't need to. You drop down to gear 3 or 4. I don't take anything positive. What's the positive of putting a bit of effort in when the game's gone? Olu says, I've always defended Ten Hag, but I have run out of excuses for him. The team playing today has 6 of his signings. His decisions after the red card show how naive he is, bringing on Eriksen in a game like this. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you, mate. Hi, Mark. I agree about the mentality, but the team consists of 3 or 4 players under Ten Hag, but we still play. This is still player issue or manager issue, says Mud. I don't actually get the point of he signed some of these players. I don't understand that because the biggest influence on this team are the players that have been here the longest on the biggest wages. So you say it's his players. What are you asking these players to do? Have a revolution? Like, if you've got one bad... Ollie said it best. If you've got one bad apple in the fruit bowl, all the other fruit becomes rotten. So I know what you're saying, that some of these players that his signings and they played really, really badly. This should be 4-0. Look at... Oh, good... Headed wide. Do you think the reason all these managers fail is because some of the players have things in the contract saying they have to play, says Jamie? You know what? I think questions will be asked of Ineos now. It's really dangerous for them because whilst they can sack the manager, which they can do, they also didn't sell certain players and they gave contracts to certain players as well. Now, whatever I think about that is irrelevant. Whatever you think about that is more relevant because Ineos gave Bruno the contract. I might have agreed with it, but a lot of you didn't. They gave him the contract. Ineos didn't try to sell Rashford in the summer. I might disagree with that. You might agree with that, but they did it. So they've made decisions that they've had, you know, they can't blame the Glazers for some of these decisions. They've made these decisions as well. It was their decision to keep Ten Hag. I agreed with that, but many of you didn't agree with that. So they've made big decisions that they're going to ultimately have to take responsibility for. They might not be the white knights in shining armour. Or the red knights, you know. Accountability, it's not easy running a football club. And there will be plenty of people. The reason I started talking about that is because I saw a live chat where somebody said, Ineos did shit at Nice. I don't know why people think they're going to be so good at Man United. And it might be a fair point. I don't know. McElvis says, I'm losing hope. I feel like United is gone for good. Shannon says, it's gone from lads it's Spurs to lads it's United. Ray says, when people said they wanted us to get battered so the manager goes, you bring that energy and it will happen. More negativity ahead, says Ray. Rashford and Bruno don't bring the effort. Second half looks better, says Chris. Ange's better than Ten Hag, says Liquid Gaming. Why did he have to say what he said about this game? We needed to have Ahmad on for control in the first half. Take a striker off for CDM, then sub a striker on. Louis says, this is on Ten Hag for picking these players. Mate, you're right, but what 11 players is he meant to pick? Because I honestly have said this a few times. If you're going to blame this on just Rashford or just Bruno, you haven't watched the last 90 minutes. Like, who's playing at fullback? Because Delo and Mazraoui have been shit. You know, you say he picks these players. Our fullbacks, who I like, have been absolutely abysmal. So who's playing at fullback? Who's playing at right back and left back? And that's the problem, isn't it? Fucking hell. Romero there was not going to get that tackle, was he? Ahmad, Ericsson, and they clear it away. Remember, Mark, we're winning the league in 4 years, says Gaz. Well, the great thing about every season is it resets and everyone starts on 0. Remember, Mark, win the league in 4 years. Says, how did we get played by Glazers like this? Club will never win anything under their ownership. What's the point sacking the manager? We will still have these dog crap players, says Abdul. I agree with your question on who to replace him with. I think Nagelsmann or Rude until the end of the season, says Bashir. Well, look, Rude can step in. You know, I've said that before. Like, a lot of people felt it was going to happen anyway. Mitchell says the best managers can motivate their players. Pep and Arteta do it every week. Oh my God. Can we frame the worst comment we've ever had? The best managers can motivate their players. Pep and do it every week. So you've just insulted Pep and Arteta and the whole of football. Do you realise what you've just said, Mitchell? You're basically saying that managers can turn shit into gold. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. Arteta nearly got the sack at the start and then was allowed to rebuild his team because the team wasn't good enough. Pep Guardiola's whole career has been about an open checkbook and brilliant players. Brilliant coach, but Pep Guardiola's never been to a club like this and turned water into wine. You've got to have the players to do it. And look, let's sack Ten Hag, but I tell you what, I'm not going to give an easy ride to the new manager. I'm not going to go, you know, because no one's been willing to do it for Jose. No one's done it for Ollie, and no one's done it for Ten Hag. So I'm not going to give the next new manager a free ride. I'm not going to go, oh, it's all on the manager. I don't see a solution here. This keeps happening no matter what we do, and still people keep going, it's on the manager. It's on the manager. It's insane to me. What 90 minutes did you just watch? Did you not watch the first 10 minutes where our players couldn't be asked? And you want to blame that just on the manager? Sack the manager by all means. He's probably going to get the sack. But the performance on the pitch comes from the players. They're fucking useless. They are an absolute fucking embarrassment. An embarrassment. They're wasting your time, they're wasting my time, and they're embarrassing the shirt. They are fucking shit. I can't believe we've had to sit and watch that when they knew the enormity of the game and we knew the enormity of the game, and they turn up and put that shit in at Old Trafford. Fucking awful. Absolutely awful. Match reaction is coming up. Mark every player out of 10. Oh, I mean, God. I mean, I'm looking forward to the fan forum and Ricky and what he's going to say about Bruno. The player ratings, I think, is going to be an absolute shit show because I don't know how you give anybody a half-decent score here. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Links in the description of the the match reaction. I'll be over there in a minute.